Welcome, everyone, to our live stream today. I hope you're all doing well. I've seen some of the chatters in the chat room already. I'd like to say hello to Claire and hello to Vilmeet. And we are with our wonderful author today, who I'm going to add to the stream. This is Chris Allaun. How do you say your last name, Chris?
It's pronounced Allaun.
Allaun. Chris Allaun. And he has a new book out, and he's going to tell us all about it. And we are going to talk about, ta-da! Oh, you know what? I've got something fancy over here too for you, honey. We are going to talk about this book today.
There it is. I
Kids.
like it. I like it.
Beautiful. We'll take it off your face, though. So anytime we talk about the book, we got to pop up.
That's awesome.
So I met Chris this week, or last week maybe, in a Facebook group for Los Angeles pagans. And because of Hermes, because of my spirit guide, I reached out to him and said, wow, would you like to do an interview? And he thankfully was very kind and pleasant and said, I will join you. And so we have him and he can talk. So hi, how you doing today?
Welcome. Can talk. I'm good. I'm just adjusting the sound here. I'm good. I'm here in very cold Chicago here, and so I'm just here trying to stay warm.
Well, it's warm where I'm at. It's rainy today, but I put holly around the border that we could see today on my background so that we can all wish each other a happy holiday. Holly days.
I get it.
I know you get it. That's why you're here. So I would like to start at the start. I do this with everyone. It's one of my favorite parts. So we did talk before the show for like a few minutes, and he told me he got into spirituality around 17 years old, but not how and not why. So we're gonna find out Chris's story. So Chris, please give us your testimonial.
So my story. I grew up with spirits all around me all the time. I could sense them. I could see them. I had prophetic dreams. So did my mother did as well. And then when I was 17, I decided, I'm going to check out witchcraft. And like a lot of us over 40, I found Raymond Buckland's complete blue book of
Big
whatever.
Blue. It's the Big Blue book, and it is the complete book of witchcraft, and we call him Uncle Buck.
I found that and other things, and then
that's the book I found too.
I think, well, back in the day, that's all they had. It was like that and two others, and so
you had a whole Llewellyn. You had a whole Llewellyn catalog to pick from, but that blue book found me, and it found you.
Yeah. It's funny just because that book is like the complete book of witchcraft. You're like, not so much, but okay, sure.
He covers just about everything. He doesn't go into a deep dive on everything, but he says, here's the basics.
Ish.
Okay, cool.
Ish. Anyway, so from there, I got formal training in the year 2000, and I became an ordained pagan clergy.
What was your formal training like?
What was it like? It was intense. So it had everything from energy control, shamanism, traditional witchcraft, invocation, trance, everything.
How about your teacher? Wasn't your teacher a character?
A character?
Usually.
Well, I mean, I guess my very first a formal teacher was Matthew Ellen Wood, and I mean, he's funny. If that's what you mean, I wouldn't say he's like, like a character per se, but I think he's funny. I think he's
He's
intelligent.
not
I think he's
terribly
brilliant.
eccentric.
So that's hard to say in a pagan community because I think to all people, I think we're eccentric. I mean,
I would have to agree with that.
I have a cauldron in my house. I mean, that's eccentric. I've got bones and drums and tarot cards and statuary. So, I mean, however, all my friends, they all have the same thing. So it's like every day to us is boring. You know, it's like, oh, a cauldron, okay, whatever. Oh, you have a broom? Yeah, I have one too. It's no big deal. It's so every day. It's so when someone says, "Oh, is your friend strange?" I'm like, no, not to me. To you, maybe, but I don't know.
Yes, so there's a marked difference between magical ones and muggles. I agree. So we were at your first training, and then I'd like to know, was there anything within that training that really blew your mind? Was there something that you could do that was awesome, or anything, any peak experience?
So such a long time ago. It was like 20 something years ago. I'm one of those people when it comes to the occult and magic. I'm just good at it. It's like breathing. It's like I didn't even have to try very hard. I mean, it was interesting. It was fun. It was life-changing in the fact that it put me on a specific path of clergyhood, of being a healer, and then eventually an author. So I guess it did that. I wouldn't say, training is training. It's like the military. It's like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and
that's what my spirit guides are like. They're very militant. I get that. But, I had the playful aspect of it to learn. I was very playful with it. And I've never lost that inner joy of the inner child with magic. And that's why I still get excited about it today and get silly about it even, because there's not much to get excited or silly about in this world.
Yeah, I mean, I do it every single day, and I teach it, and I have a handful of students, and I run 2 different circles. So for me, it's just like breathing. It's so ingrained into who I am. I don't really think about it. I don't even call it magic. I call it energy work or whatever. I don't even say, oh, it's this amazing thing happened. I'm like, oh, I called the God. Saturday, or oh, I did some shape-shifting and I went into the other world and I flew to the Sabbath.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Thursday, just like you do every Thursday. It's fine. Like taking a bath.
That's awesome. Well, I think I'm a dramatist. I think that's my thing. I love all the colors and the sensuality of it. And the vibrations, of course. It's all about the vibrations. So that's awesome. I couldn't do certain things when I was in training, like looking at a black mirror, scrying to scry. Couldn't do that to save my life.
Can you do it now?
No, still can't, because it's in my head. I see it in my third eye, not projected onto a mirror.
So I'm an overachiever. So whenever something is challenging, I have to be really good at it. So I have to. But it was strange because when people say scry, they're just like, oh, look at a black bowl or look at a black mirror, and what do you see? And I hate teachers like that. They say just do it. Okay, I don't understand what you're talking about. So I like troubleshooting. So for me, I tell all my students, pretend you're looking into a black swimming pool. See the bottom. And what happens is you go into a trance. And then you start to see things in your head. A lot of people are like, oh, if you gaze into the bowl, you'll see images inside the bowl.
In the bowl. And I'm like, no,
That's
they're
not
not
true.
in the bowl. I'm
It's in your
sorry,
head.
guys.
It's
Well,
in
then
your
I do
head.
scry. Then I was just
Yeah.
misinformed. But yeah,
I'll help you.
I made a mirror to do it and everything, just like Donald Tyson said to do, right?
Yeah.
He's the author of that Magic Mirror book. And that's the thing. If I can't, why? That's what I thought. Why would I project it out onto the mirror if I can see it in my head? I don't need the tool, right?
Exactly. It's only a tool. It's only an aid. It's it's like alcohol. Some people need alcohol, but to have fun. Some people don't. And if you don't need the aid, then you don't need the aid. It's also like astral projecting. It's like, oh my God, I hear this all the time. Oh, I want the old ancient flying ointment. I'm like, if you can astral project, you don't need it.
No,
all it does is help you get out of your body. So you're like, how do you know? Because I've done it. I have some. I do it all the time. It's fine. You don't need
I remember
the aid.
flying ointment from the pagan festivals. That stuff was fun.
I have some over here.
That's amazing. I haven't seen a pagan in years that really, like you, in probably 10 years. I mean, you really are
I'm very old school when it comes to stuff like that.
I love it. I wanted to call you a relic because I feel like a relic too.
Call a relic. Yes.
We are from the old world. We know the old ways.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. Where did you get your flying ointment? Did you make it? That's so cool.
No, I had friends who actually. I have different friends who do it, and different friends I trust, because you have to be you have to know exactly how to do it, because if you put too much hellbane or too much belladonna, it can make you sick.
Definitely.
It won't kill you or anything, but it may make you vomit, and you don't want to do that.
No, it's yucky.
Unless you're doing peyote, that's a whole different thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, so you're psychedelic too, eh? That's amazing. Okay, so I want to get a little bit into the book. So we're gonna, yay!
That pop-up is hilarious.
So she's lifting the veil and showing your book to all the muggles.
The veil. I love it so much.
So what gave you the inspiration, and tell us about your book?
Okay, so my first 4 books were about the underworld and deeper into the underworld and the upper world. Then my previous book is called Otherworld, and that's about the fairies, the dragons, things like that. And I wanted to do something completely different. And then I felt this call around October 2019 about people need to learn how to help the transition. And I'm like, no, I think I want to do a book on tarot. I really enjoy that. And I was getting it all set up. I talked to these people, talked to those people. I was going to do a book on advanced tarot, and my spirits and my guides are like, no, you have to write a book about transitioning the dead. I'm like, okay, well, that is fun, and I do it all the time,
Did they tell you it's because a lot of people are about to die?
Well, it's funny because I was I was I was doing a show back in September with a friend who's an author. We were talking about it, and it clicked. I was like, "Oh my God, I I think they told me because of COVID. In fact, around spring, because I completed the book around June of 2020, and in spring, had a bunch of people like, Chris, hurry up and write this book, publish it. I know all these people who died, and I'm just like, I'm talking as fast as I can.
Oh, you poor
Um,
thing, little
and
Gemini.
well, what happens in a major publisher when you send in the book and all the edits are done and it's finalized, it sits on the shelf for a year. For a year, like,
Horrifying.
well, it's crazy because like all the major publishers, when you see pre-order, like if you go on Amazon, a brand new book will say pre-order August of 2022, and me, I'm like, no, let's do it right now. But it's all about publicity, marketing,
Not when your
pre-order,
spirit guides are
blah
telling
blah
you.
blah.
But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the truth of the higher realms and then these assholes on earth? How do you deal with that?
I just try to. I'm a shaman, so I have a foot in the spirit world and a foot in this world, and I try to do the the best I can. Um, but I taught a bunch of free classes on Zoom. I taught a very introductory class about how to transition. It wasn't that deep. Anyone could do it. It was like more of like a guided visualization with a prayer and candles and things like this. The book goes into great detail about different things. I love that pop up so much. Oh my God, I'm so happy. But like, so each of the chapters in the book, it talks about like how to find your guides to help you to help you teach. Because I tell all of my students, I'm just a guide. I'm not even a real teacher. The spirits are the ones who actually teach you. I will teach you how to find the spirits. I will teach you how to do your energy control, to do your basics. But the real teachers are the gods and goddesses, the ancestors, the spirits, all those things. And so I have a whole chapter about that. Then I have a chapter about helping someone actually transition as they're actually dying. I also have a part in the book, like say something happened, you had a car accident or someone got hurt or had a heart attack and you couldn't be there. I teach you how to send the healing energy back in time at the point when they transitioned to ease their transition. And then I talk about like lost souls, things like that, which is extremely common. About spirits,
Extremely common.
Extremely common. A lot of people think that, oh, when I die, I'm zen and I know everything. I'm connected. I'm going to a wonderful place of bliss. No. When you die, it's like taking off your shirt. Boop. You're the same person. You have this same shit. You have the same dreams. You have the same fears. You have the same prejudices. You have the same whatever. And sometimes
it was Yogananda who said, if you think that when you die you're gonna just go to heaven and everything's awesome, then why don't we all jump off a bridge right now, jump off a cliff and kill ourselves, because that's what's waiting for us. He said, no,
right.
You got to do this work in the body, and you are lucky enough and have the karma enough to be able to be here to do the work in the body.
Right.
So that's an excellent point, my friend. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't want to transition. I want to stay here." And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you're like, oh, I have a 2-year-old. I want to protect my child. I think that's okay. However, it's been 200 years and your child has been gone a long
You're
time.
talking
It's
about
time to
ghosts.
move on. Yeah,
The hungry
absolutely.
ghosts. Yes.
Absolutely. So there's also people who want justice, who've been hurt or who've been killed, and like, I'm not leaving until I have justice.
And
So
there's the
that,
avenging angel, right? And sometimes that's real, like that's divine, but for the most part, it's a ghost.
yeah. And so I teach about how to talk to them, and I have a part of the book I call spirit counseling or spiritual counseling, where you actually counsel the spirit about, hey, it's time to disengage from the physical plane and transition to the spirit plane and transition to a place of the afterlife and healing. And let me tell you, the spirits who are here aren't like, wow, I never thought of that. Thank you for telling me. I'll transition. No, what happens is they're like, okay, no, I ain't going anywhere. So you have to sit with them. So you're essentially doing a soul retrieval.
Right.
But
that's the point.
Well, that's the point. But instead of putting the soul back in a physical body, you're bringing the soul to the afterlife. And I just think, people are in their own
Bubble,
box,
reality tunnel.
Can they don't see other people? Can they don't see? It's like,
I call those people lost souls.
Yeah, maybe it depends. I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't deal with them very well, personally.
Well, in my job, I have to. So I deal with all types of people. So
I'm being told to go back to your inspiration for the book, and to unpack that a little bit, because I was warned that, and not only that, I warned everyone else in a video in January of 2020, I believe it was, before all this happened, that there's going to be massive death and that the sickness was coming, but the medicine was ready. So as long as the medicine's ready, the sickness can go ahead and come. And the medicine, of course, is energetic, and the sickness, of course, is energetic. But that's called Persephone, the Art of War is the name of that video. I've been told to warn people every show I could get on. I was, bigger shows, bigger than me. I was warning. I was like, this is a new world order. It's all happening before it happened. And that's why people don't connect it much, because I said it before it happened. But with the call that you got from the higher ups, I call them, from heaven home, they said that we need this in the transition, because there's so many that will be transitioning. We need all the light workers, or whatever you want to call us, the flame bearers, to get to work basically on the soul, the axis mundi, the soul of the world. It's not about all these individuals, unless you're caring for someone in particular that you love. But I'd also just like to sneak in here. When my mother was passing, I read to her the Buddhist, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And I had seen her a year before she got sick with my guru, and my guru was in heaven. So I said, Mom, you're with my guru, which was her guru at one point. And that means you're going to heaven, Mom. And a year later, she was dying. And that's when I knew, it's time to get the book out. So we do, people who have spirit guides and actually listen, or those you can teach to hear their guides, will get this kind of information throughout their life. And it's such a loving thing that I was shown that my favorite person in the world, my mother, would be leaving me, because we're twins. We look exactly alike. There's a lot between me and my mom. And that she would be transitioning, but that's okay, because she goes straight to my guru's door, and then she would go to the higher realms. And so I just wanted to share that story. And if you have something similar, I'd love to hear it.
So another reason I wrote the book is because, I'm clergy, and so I have people all the time. So and so, passed. Can you come and do a service? Can you do a ceremony? Can you sit with them? Can you sit with the family? Can you do grief counseling? And so I'm one of those people. I don't think I'm very determined and hard-headed, but I don't think I'm all that talented or very special or powerful or anything. And so everything I've learned how to do, I just took the time to do it.
That's
And
a really excellent point. And don't
it's
you
about discipline.
You're saying you're not that smart. I'm not that smart either, but my spirit guides are. I think that's kind of my point.
Right. And so I wanted to show we can all do this. This is why I wrote the book. It's not that hard. There are certain things you have to understand. You have to understand about energy. You have to understand about spirits. You have to understand about this and that. But once you understand it, and it isn't all that hard, we all can do it. You don't have to have a title. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to be a shaman, which I work with the Native American community, specifically with the Lakota. And one of the things that's so insulting and ignorant is when everyone calls everything shamanism.
Right.
And I would just
it's like a blanket term.
It's like, stop. It's like saying every priest is a rabbi. No, they're not. It's a specific thing. But anyway.
But wouldn't you say the dream time belongs to all of us, and shamanism is the only place I've heard them talk about the dream time?
Here's the problem. So why do we have to use the word shaman? How come we can't say spirit worker, spirit helper, spirit healer? It's that catch-all, because the word sounds sexy. It sounds glamorous. It sounds powerful. It's also a guy's word. Men love the word shaman because don't call me a witch. That's a girl name. I'm a shaman. I'm a man. And I'm like, okay, take the toxic somewhere else. It's okay. It's okay. You can say witch or whatever you want to say. Healer. I don't care. But to take someone else's title and say, oh, that sounds sexy, I'm going to take it for myself. No, we can do better.
We can do better. I made up my own title. Well, Hermes did, but I take credit for it. Occult Priestess. I'm a priestess of the mysteries.
Exactly.
Well, I wanted to show this. It's show and tell real quick. This is someone drew my spirit guide. So yeah, that's Hermes.
That's awesome.
Isn't he pretty?
That's kind of how I see him, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited. That's
like very boyish and fun. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
You totally get it, Mr. Gemini.
Well, the planet that governs Gemini is Mercury. So it just popped in my head. So back in the 90s, there used to be all these books, speaking of old witches here, of they'd say things like, oh, do this psychic technique. Oh, you don't know how? Find another book that will teach you. And you're like, crap, I can't do that technique because I don't know astral projection or I don't know scrying. Crap, well, I have to go. And at the time, you didn't have Amazon. You have to go to the bookstore and try to find that book. It was so irritating. So
I owned 2 different occult bookstores. So you had to come to my bookstore.
So I have a thing to, if I say you need to do a certain psychic technique, I actually teach you how to do the technique in the books. So for example, I teach you how to become clairvoyant. I teach you how to talk to spirits. I teach you how to work with a pendulum, how to hear the spirits, how to see the spirits, how to honor the dead, how to do all those things to actually teach you how to be a psychopath yourself.
And isn't it true you have your own show?
I do have my own show. It's called The Mystic Chat. and we're actually going to have a show on Thursday, and it's our last show for this season. And normally we have a big author on, but I think we're just gonna talk winter and solstice and family and fun and darkness, because it's dark, and I like to talk about the dark and things like that. So I do have my own show. Yeah, the Mystic Chat. You can find us on YouTube.
So it's Mystic Chat
Mhm.
on YouTube with Chris Allaun.
Yeah.
I would like to be there, and I'd also like to, hopefully we'll rope you in to do some guided meditations or some work on my channel if you feel like it later. We'll get to that.
Absolutely.
I would love to host you and do that, because that's what I want to do too. I want to show people the practical magic. So we want to get those who have eyes and ears to use their eyes and ears.
Yeah.
It's time. It is time to bring magic back. That's really my point. But so are there any other socials like that you want to give us?
So you can on my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is all Chris Allaun. It's all ChrisAllaun. I'm not one of those people who like hide my name, or those people like, oh, I'm on social media, but don't find me. What's the point of being on social media then?
Thank you. I don't know what's wrong with those people, but I didn't know you were on.
I was going to say, some people just enjoy to watch other people, and they don't want to be bothered, and I understand. That's fine. I guess.
Well, I will tag you. I'll find you on Twitter, and I'll tag you because I didn't know you were on Twitter. And then I
am on Twitter.
So we'll definitely connect there, because we found each other on Facebook. So that's awesome. I would have been tagging you in all of these advertisements, but I didn't look. I'm sorry. Oops. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I want to have you back. It's 5 o'clock. And that's why I'm kind of wrapping things a little bit. I didn't want to take too much of your time today. But I'm so excited to have you. You're a real pagan, and I don't know if I've met any on the internet.
There's a couple of us. There's a few of us.
I love it. I would like it. Hey, you can bring them on too. We can have a party, okay?
Sounds good to me.
I'm serious. I love hanging out and partying with pagans. It's one of my favorite things. And so I'm going to close it out at 507-707-007. This is your agent, MIB, Maiden in Black, signing off. Blessings and namaste.